Hey everybody, and today I'm going to be talking about some of the most basic forms of video games that beginners usually like to create. So, the first one, and the most common one, I would say, is a platformer. And platformers, just simple 2D, jump up and down, defeat your enemies sort of game, and get to the end of the level. So, starting off with this one, I'd say this is honestly not the best place to start. And that's because 2D physics can be quite difficult, and also you have some advanced collision detection you usually have to deal with. Also, for some reason in the games I've made, I've always had more glitches with my platformer games than my other games. So, next on the list is tower defense. Now, this is a fairly simple type of game, but the problem is, with this one in specific, I'd say, the menus. Menus are not necessarily easy to deal with, especially for a beginner, and especially if you want your buttons to scale and everything to look nice. Now, of course, if you're just making your first game, you shouldn't be worrying about this too much. And I would say it's a fairly good place to start. But the next type of game is what I'd personally say would be the best type of game to start with, and that is basically a top-down shooter. So you can control with your arrow keys, and you can move some sort of character around, and wherever the mouse is pointing is where they shoot. So you can click and have them shoot. And I would say this is really the best because there's no obvious sort of difficulties. I mean, it's basically top-down motion, which is very simple, and the collision detection is not quite like platformers, because you don't really have to deal with gravity because you're working from top down. So any sort of top down shooter or even RPG type game, though of course that gets more into text boxes and menus again, which can be difficult. So what's another simple type of game? Well, there's also the simple sort of phone games, piano tiles sort of game, and while these are very simple, they're not going to be played by many people on computers, so this would be more of if you're looking to create a game for phones. Now, of course, as a beginner, your focus should not be on creating a game that's going to sell. It should be creating a game that works in the first place. So if you want to start there, that's also a really great place to start. And of course, anything other than that, I'm thinking there's also sort of asteroid shooter sort of games, and there's some other super specific sort of games, but those are the main genres. Anyway, if you have any other simple type of games that you'd like to mention, go ahead and do that in the chat, because I'm sure there are other ones that people know of that are very simple, yet also very fun to create. Thank you for watching.